you message me all the time and you're like, "CC Daddy, please teach me the ways of Pokemon Snap." So
Oh, like weird. Like I really don't know what to do anymore. But okay.
so
In
yeah,
this
we're
one,
gonna look
just
at
as I
this.
said.
We're gonna see. So so your mashing so far is really good. Let's watch it from the start.
I get mad over here. I
A
can't
little
take it
Oh,
fedora dog.
already.
yeah, the dog. Yeah.
Why
It's just-
you get?
I need to get it out. I always forget. But I'm like, okay. So the
I
first
just
part, I
can't
think
take
it was kind of
Butterfree.
similar, like to the UHA version.
Right. Yeah. Actually, the Japanese version is a little slower for mashing. Personally, my tips for mashing are to. I use a GameCube controller, by the way. I have an adapter that lets me play any game. So I alternate between B and A, right? The way I hold my controller is like this. Not obviously not like this, but you know, I hold it naturally. But I use my thumbs for B and A, right? And what I do is I sort of rotate the controller back and forth with my palms.
Oh yeah, I do that too. But I press more A than B because the other finger is stronger.
I gotcha. But what I don't really move my thumbs at all, which is what I think one of my the best thing about my mashing is that I don't um I don't really mess up my thumbs or my hands. All the motion is sort of like in my palms and pushing the controller back and forth, and my thumbs are pretty stationary.
Mhm.
So you see, I can mash a lot like that really fast. I get pretty good speeds, and I just kind of lock up my forearm and blowing it away, right? So moving back and
Interesting.
forth, and your hands moving quickly. Yeah. So instead of like some people are like, "Oh man, I gotta mash really fast," let me just. It's
And
like
the
that.
problem is that sometimes I do it like that, and sometimes I press A and then go everything together,
Yeah.
everything again, back again.
Hi Nikki, how's it going? Yeah. So just find whatever's comfortable for you. Personally, that's the style that I hold that makes it feels good for me, and I get pretty good speeds out of it. So the thing about mashing and snap, even on the Japanese version, is it's a little bit slower, I think, on the Japanese. Well, I know that the very first set of text boxes when you first start a new game is that it's a little bit faster on the US version. So if you're switching over to Japanese, it's a little slower. It's a little different. But everything afterwards is faster on Japanese. But if you're not going to alternate between A and B, I would say exclusively mash B. Just mash it really fast because you can get some pretty fast times with just mashing B, and you won't accidentally repeat text, and you won't go into like Pokemon Report. Those are two really important things because both of those will like just ruin, just like waste so much time going to Pokemon Report. The PB Report, I like to call PB Report, is a joke. I call the PB Report, and it's like 5-6 seconds time loss. The way CC Match is likely one of the most effective. Personally, I can't do it that way. Yeah, so it depends on your controller and depends on your style. So just find something that's good for you. Okay, let's go back to reviewing the actual video because I'm just talking to chat. Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
It's like everything's
Your
something that feels pretty strange is in between Pikachu and Butterfree
you
because it
think
looks
it's different?
like yeah, because in the USA you can hear Pikachu moving 3 times, but in the Japanese version when I take the pictures in the second sound, I was kind of confused. I was like,
Hmm.
what? I don't know if it's RNG, but
I
for me it
guess
was
I don't
strange.
really think about the sound cues that often, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. So okay, but so your Pidgey, I think it's okay. I aim a little bit more to the side for the 4K Pidgey. Hang on, let's zoom back a little bit. So I'll sort of point out where I look. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, I aim my cursor like right here. And then
Oh yeah, I just follow his pace because I for me to be sure that I'll lose him.
right. So you're I think it's fine. You're probably going to get like 3900 or something, or maybe 4K. I don't know, but I've always found that aiming right here is good, and waiting for it to like kiss the palm tree. You know, it's like it's right when it's kissing it. It's like it's perfect.
Yeah, but actually I need the poetry because I found out if you miss like it's a little bit, you lose points.
Yeah, you'll lose. Yeah, you'll lose a little bit of points. It's not perfect if you don't do it. But yeah, what? Let me see your Doduo real quick. No, it's further away.
It's the last frame. My Dodo was like the last of the last frame.
Okay, so what you're doing is you're only looking forward. What you should be doing is looking a little bit up and to the left. Hang on. So I aim this area right here. So you need to look up and left a little bit, and you'll get better. So the way that it works is that the angle is really important here. If you look straight ahead, you're going to lose a few hundred points, I think, because the angle is different. By looking just a little bit up and left, it makes it like more of a sideways shot instead of like a behind and sideways shot. So you can lose points by just doing that. So you should look up and left a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to sort of do that.
I think I lose like 60 points.
Is it? Okay. Well, hang on. Let me show you the spreadsheet here. So let me see here. So on the spreadsheet, you can see that it's up and to the left.
I never got that Dodo. I never got. I don't know why I can't get him.
So it's just something you gotta practice. Just gotta restart beach and just practice beach a lot. So the thing that really separates the good runners from the great runners is points, right? So something that I did to practice was I tried to replicate all of these strategies and all of these points as much as I could, and sort of understand what makes a picture the good points versus the bad points. Like I try to see like what is it that one person's doing different? What are the little details? And that really helped me a lot to be able to see how many points I think I was going to get before even checking. So even before going into the report, I could tell you like, oh, this picture is probably going to be like a high, 38 or like a low 34 or something. Like I could tell you how many points the picture was just by looking at the details. So you don't have to get that good, obviously. That's something that just I like to do, is like to sort of pick it apart. But definitely look into figuring out what do you need to do to get to just get to the knowledge of like this I need to do this to get the most points, because the little bit of points is a big difference. You know what I mean? Yeah, the route will change a lot depending on how many points you can get, and so making sure that you get like the zero picture valley is kind of the end goal here. So you did fine on the Pikachu. Normally I would aim for the tail a little bit. You get a bit more points, but we'll see what your points are after beach. You're aiming for the cloud, which is good, and boom.
I don't know why it looks like we're freezing slow motion. I don't know. I feel it's strange. But okay, I got her, but it got me like 30 minutes.
All right.
I was like, what?
Passively listening while I'm trying to finish my work right now. So I'll be all right. It's all good, Eric. Thanks for stopping in. The only thing I would say here is that you're aiming for the body, right? Optimally, you want to aim for the wings. And one of the things you want to do is that if you aim in a spot where only the extended wings can hit, you can listen for the red dot picture. Like if you know that like the closed wing is like this big, but the open wing is like this big, you can kind of aim like in the corner here, and then it'll like beep whenever the wings are open. And you can kind of time it that way, and you'll know if you got it on the frame where the wings are like open, because you'll know you get the red dot picture. So that's something that Levon does, and I'm not great at that yet, but
me too. Actually, when I started playing, it was easier for me, but then when I started trying the other levels, I kind of got, I don't know, I think I forgot it somewhere.
It's all good. It's just one of the things you gotta really focus in. Hey, ROM Master with 18 months in a row. That is a long time to be subscribed to me, and I appreciate it. Frank Erzy. Oh, Punchamp. Punchamp. All right, let's keep going.
Frankers.
There we go. I was about to say that took forever. Okay, good Lapras there. Let's go ahead and do. I'm gonna do 1.5 speed for now. That was not a 2-second delay. That was like a 10-second delay. Finally got the delay fixed on live streamer. Okay, we're gonna be waiting a bit for here, so let's just kind of zoom ahead. Okay, back to normal. All right, good. And then, are you going for 2x King?
My movements get kind of.
You are. Okay. So
I
2x King is
I
kind of
get
hard.
it.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
get it. I don't. Well, we'll find out. But 2x King is hard, but definitely go for it. You don't really lose anything by going for it. So like I think even Quo or Drogi, I think, or both of them, they never go for it, which I think is silly because it's like you maybe lose like a 2 or 3 frames due to lag by looking sort of upwards when you should be looking over to the side on live streamer. Is that a website? I don't know, Rom. ... Don't you ... me. I'm a big dummy. I don't know stuff. Also, check out our merch. We got brand new merch. I actually just took it to my room upstairs so I can wear it. Our new merch is out. Yay! So, pause this to it's a program that lets you watch streams of VLC. Gotcha. So, taking a little short break to plug the store. You can check out Squidbird's got a t-shirt. You check out my new shirt, the Jam Session. Right? I love this one a lot. It's really great. It's a bunch of little jars of jam, and they're having to
That
play music.
remembers me of Steven Universe because he has a music that say like the Jan something.
Ah,
It's funny. It's a fun.
nice. You can check it out. It's brand new. It's out there now. And then, of course, if you're so inclined, Zazzy, hello. If you're so inclined, you can buy that for a toddler. I'm trying to find where my collection is. Shop by streamer. Me. You can buy that for a toddler. If you need a little baby shirt, you can buy one. Boom. Shirts for babies. Get them now. Haven't been around. Cold meds are kicking in. I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. I haven't been able to send you a Christmas present yet because I like money. Zazzy, no worries. It's all good. Do what you gotta do. I'll be here whenever you're ready to come back. Whenever you're less busy. It's all good. You can also buy Trish leggings. You can. Oh, that's right. For all you ladies out there, or dudes, whatever.
Show me. I want to
You
know
can
it.
get the one, the only, the leggings produced by Trish, designed by Trish herself. Oh, it's kind of cut
Well,
off.
like yeah.
You can see it here, though. You can see it says Trish on the waistband. It's got this beautiful gradient. These colors, vibrant, stylish. You too can buy them now for only $40. All right. Okay, let's get back. This is gonna take
Bye,
forever.
Zazzy.
That's busy. I gotta go. All right, Zazzy. Oh, you got let go. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, Zazzy. Hopefully, you'll find something. You'll be back on your feet in no time. I believe.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, let's see here.
Finally, I got a birthday. Seriously, I was kind of mad over here.
I can't tell. I think you can menu faster. Hang on. Let me monitor capture. Turn that off. Where's Amarek? There it is. Hang on. Oh. You did mention Brandon got let go. I did hear that. Okay, hang on. What's a good level we can do something real quick? You know what? I'm just gonna take pictures and do the Okay, that should work. Okay, so we'll do it with this, right? So you want to double tap. But so we can actually menu really fast, and you gotta time it where it's like.
But you're like using the GameCube controller. It's
Yeah.
because the sticker is a little smaller than the my controller. So for me, it takes a little more time.
I think you just gotta move it faster. You gotta get some energy in there.
Yeah, I need to fix my controller actually because it's a little loose. So I need like to push it really harder.
I gotcha. Well, controller problems are definitely a big issue, so gotta make sure you get that taken care of. But
yeah, it's so like the analogic. I don't know the name of it, but like it's so short that you can like just push it and it moves. It's like magic.
It is like magic. Yes, I agree. The GameCube controller is like magic. But yeah, so that's something you can improve on. But again, you'll take care of that in time. It's just it's more time than you think it is, right? So if you, I don't know, just getting used to the timing of like. You want also the big deal is you want to double tap A, faster. So instead of like doot 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 doot, you know, like move AA. Move AA, move AA. You want to do like at the same time almost, like a doo doo, doo doo doo. So that's sort of the I tried using a Hori on Snap. It's kind of interesting. I actually have seen that, and I need to buy myself a Hori because I like the stick, and I want to see if it's good for Snap because it's a lot smaller. So.
This one is smaller.
The stick is bigger, and it's I don't know. I like the Hori stick a lot better than I like the N64 controller stick. So I don't like the N64 controller that much. I'm not an N64 purist like some people. Okay, hang on. I have a message I need to get to. In the past 2 days, you crocheted 4 hats. That's a lot of hats. If there's a market, then sell it away.
Oh, 4 hats. I'm impressed. Because crochet like takes time.
It does. Okay. It'll feel kind of weird. I've held Squid's Hori, so I know what it feels like. I didn't really play with it though. I didn't like sit down and play with it for a while. So okay. Let me go mute this. I think it's harder to make precise turns with the Hori, honestly. Like to get certain angles is weird. I'm a fan unless I'm doing some of those bounces throws. Yeah, so I don't run SM64. I don't really care for it. So I know that that's like the big thing that people do with the Hori is for Bowser throws. And I know the angles are different in Snap. It's usually not that big a deal. Like the GameCube notches are different than the N64 controller notches. You know. So it's like personally, it doesn't make that much of a difference to me. I don't use the notches too much in Snap. The only one I use it for is the volcano quick throw for the volcano sign. But I think you can even do that on N64 or anything else. You just have to get used to like where to put the control stick. So Zazzy, eyes closing. Good night. All right, Zazzy.
Good night.
All right. Have a good night. Sleep well. We'll talk later. Okay, and let's get back to your run here. So let's look at your points for beach. We'll try to speed this along here because we're taking a lot longer than I thought we would. Oh, you got 4K on that Pidgey.
Yeah, like I said.
For me,
and then lost just 40 points on Doodle.
Okay.
I get like the last frame. It's super risky because sometimes I miss it.
I gotcha. Yeah, if you aim up and left, you can. It's much more reliably right like 29 over. So like 2920, 2940, 2960 is all really easy. So it's just easier if you look a little bit up there.
Thank you, Zazie. Yeah, but like my controller, I don't know, but it's like my controller. Sometimes I don't do some angles because he kind of crack. Like I can't move straight, just like a, you know.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it. It's like. So it kind of get me off track.
No, it's all right. One of my control sticks doesn't has like a weird thing it catches. Like whenever you try and push it, it kind of snags on something. It doesn't want to move. So you kind of have to like
Yeah.
force it. In fact, that's what you mean. It can't do small movements because something's like in the way.
Yeah, it's something like that. Like if you feel like it's stuck, so it goes like cha 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 cha, and I'm like, oh my god. So it's better if I not move.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's
So I
definitely
feel like
something you need to open the controller and see if there's something stuck in there. Because
I
like
think it's
plastic
the
bits can kind
dust
of break
the
off.
rover.
It's the dust.
Yeah, there's some dust inside it, but like, I don't want to break that controller because it's my best one.
I gotcha. All right, we got some great points coming out of beach so far. Not 2
God,
times
that
Kang, but
part-
everything else is good. So you got 22, 8, 8, 10, which is really solid. Yeah, that's solid. So you're pretty good on points. You could do a little bit better, but as long as you're reliably able to get these points, I guess that's all that really matters. Because the difference between like this and like 2300 isn't that big a deal. So
I think my last run I got like 23 and 400, I guess. I got the King is yes.
23
That's I
400,
got
yeah,
out.
that's a lot. I think only one time ever have I gotten 24,000 points at a beach. It was not easy, and I do not expect to
I
get that very often.
think.
But it has happened
Yeah.
before, and you can do it. The only problem is that it doesn't really help in the speed run. It only helps by a couple of frames, so it's like the reward versus like the risk is not very good. It's not something you want to go for every time, but you could technically do that, and then like you could submit an album picture and get a better picture for Electrode for more points, or yeah, there's a couple things. So okay, let's get back into it. So good points coming out of beach. I think you have a pretty good idea about what to do for beach. So we'll move on from there. We spent way too much time on beach when I should not have spent that much time on beach. So you
Beach
got
is like the most important part.
it is a big important part. I agree with you. So
If you get beach, you can get everything. Just have a reason with it.
there you go.
Actually,
You got good
what
on.
is
You
that?
got a good Electrode, so that's good. Good mashing for apples. Ooh, got a good split at 306. I'm trying to remember what Lemon's split is for that. I think his is pretty close to that. It's like a 304 or something. I time my splits at a different time, so it's kind of hard for me to tell the comparison.
Most of people do that, yeah.
There's usually like 2 different timings, and I'm on the other one. So, okay, good Electabuzz. You're on the right side, I think. Yep, you're on the far right side. Okay. Generally, I would throw the apple a little sooner. What I do is I use C up to like align myself forward, and whenever I can see Electrode like directly in front of me, when he's right there, that's when I throw an apple at him. I think you're waiting a little bit too long, and like you have to look to the side a little bit. Yeah, you look a bit to the right to throw the apple. So I would throw mine a little earlier, but it's not that big a deal. It's just that it helps set up Kakuna a little sooner. That way you have a better angle, and I'm trying to think of words I'm trying to say. It's a better angle, and he's gonna stop moving around because when he first comes down, he kind of moves around a bit when he first lands. But when you do it a little earlier, he kind of finishes moving around and he sits still, and then you can get a really good picture of him. So just kind of helps mitigate some of the things, the variations. Okay.
Yeah, I need to train Kakuna. And this spider I use like a Electrode as a backup, but
Okay.
I kind of messed up my backup.
I would say at this point you should stop doing that.
Yeah, I thought about that. I was like, should I? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, gives me time because I kind of unlock and then look at him and then look again.
I didn't know that you can control the cart. You just
Yeah.
found out today, Colin? Okay. Have you watched my guide series on Snap?
Actually, I I need to be honest. I didn't know about your guides, but it was like
It's all good.
when I got 2330, you said, "Oh, I have guides," so I kind of watched it.
It's
I
all
was like,
good.
"Oh my god!" I learned everything by watching other people, but I didn't know what I was doing. Now I'm, yeah, now I know how I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Colin says that he watched all of the videos except for the one on the cart mechanics. So how complicated could that be? Yeah, it's one of the things that makes or breaks the run at the early level. I see a lot of people like turn around for Electabuzz and then like unzoom the camera, and they get hit by Electabuzz, and they're like, "Oh, how'd that happen? I don't understand." It's like it's because you slowed down and you don't realize that you slowed down. People don't realize that you can slow down. It's not an auto scroller, or it is an auto scroller. It's not like the game isn't just moving forward for you. You have to actually control it a little bit, so you can go faster or slower. And people don't realize that.
It kind of happened to me, so
Was Diglett?
I think
Oh
I
yeah.
was that person that was like, that said like, "Whoa, oh, what happened?" But I got so confused.
Well, I think at this point, Candy, you're pretty good. You don't really need to watch the guide series. If you wanted to watch a couple of them just to have more information. Hi Xerix, how's it going? If you want to have a bit more information on the reason why we do some of the things that we do, you might look into it. But you're pretty good at this point, so I think you're fine.
Thank you.
But so you don't need the extra points for Electrode here. You have a 1500 point picture, right? That's fine. You just have to get good with it, because if you take this picture and resubmit it, you're gonna lose like 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And you gain like 2,000 points, which is pretty good. But you need to learn to ditch this and move on. That's a strat that's kind of holding you back, I think.
Yeah, because like I messed up this time, but sometimes I get Electrode and Zubat, but this time I missed Zubat, so it was not worth it.
Right. And you can be lag reducing here. But going into the menu and taking the picture and submitting it, it also messes with your menu, with the pictures that you have on your menu. It's going to change the order of it. And let me watch your thing in here in a minute, and we'll take a look at it. But yeah, missing Zubat is a big deal. Personally, as long as I get 2 times points on it, I'm pretty okay with it. But it's like it's a 4,000 point picture, and if you mess it up, that's a lot of points lost.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. Even it's really hard, but it's a really important picture. That's good, Magikarp. Nice. Do you drift here at all?
Like
Oh, you get the second Zubat, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the first was not good, so let me get the second. The second was worse, but since
Oh,
I
you're not.
aimed for
Oh, there you go.
Zubat, I moved my card. Yeah.
There you go.
So I need to fix it up.
Okay.
I fixed it. I remember. I think someone said you can't get out of the track. I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I after Magikarp, I drift before the door opens. Like
You drifted closer to the border, yeah.
right after because the way that it works is that I guess I don't know if you've seen the video or not, but so the way that the track works is that so there is the middle, right? And then there's like the left and the right side, right? So the way the track works is that it's not a set distance. So I'm trying to think of how I want to describe this. So let's say the track is this big, and let's say the track is this big. Right? At some points it's really small and thin, and at other points it opens up and it's really big. Like at the very beginning of tunnel, it's like really big, and then once you go into the tunnel, it's like kind of small.
Yeah.
So in order to get from the middle to the side, it takes the same amount of time. So even if it's a small one, you move really slowly to the middle. And if it's a big one, you move really fast to the side. Sorry, I said the middle. But from the middle to the side, you move very slowly on a small one and very fast on a large one. And the reason that is because you don't move the speed. Like it's not at a specific units. Like you don't move at like 10 kilometers per hour. You know, like you move like a percentage of the way each second. And so when a stage is thin and then it expands to a big one, you will stay at the same point as it expands or shrinks. So if you're halfway, I'm trying to use
Like in River, I guess.
trying to think of
Like
a better
if you
way to.
unlock, it kind of push you to the left.
I'm trying to think. There's a. I used to have a graphic for this, and I don't have it anywhere anymore. Let me see. Let me pull up Amarik again. There we go. Oh, monitor, go away. Okay. Let me just run into tunnel really quick, and I'll show you.
I know that if I go to that door, I need like to lock, like look straight, lock, and then move the view to the left, and then the car will start like straight, going through the track.
All right. Okay, so real quick.
I don't know if that makes sense.
So that's the right side, that's the left side, right over there. That's like the middle, and then this is the middle here. That's a little bit to the side, but so even though that you can see that the distance from there to the middle is like that big, right? That's as big as the stage is, right? That's the space in between that area. But when it's thin, this is the middle, and then that's the side, right? So that's the end, and then that's the middle. So because, hang on, aim a little further down. Okay, that way you can see it. Can you see my? You can't see it. Let's switch this back on. There we go. That way you can see my mouse. So even though this is really small, and then this is really big, you will always, if you're on the far right side here, you will always stay on the outside edge. So even when it gets bigger, you'll stay here, or if you're in the middle, you'll stay here. And so if you move to the side early on in the stage, you will be there even when it's like thin and it expands. So when I do after Magikarp is I move to the left, all the way to the left, and then even before the doors open and even before everything kind of expands to as big as it could be, I am already on the far left side. So some people don't realize that, like, they think, oh, if I move, this distance here, then whenever it expands, I'll be like somewhere in the middle, because they think it's, I'm only like 2 feet to the side instead of 10 feet to the side. It's like, no, as long as you're all the way over, it's like a percentage, not a unit, is what I'm trying to get across. Which I think you get, but I just want to make sure everyone's clear on that. Okay.
Yep.
So let's take that off and let's go back to here. Let's go back to your video. There we go. Okay.
But like that was the run, like I messed up everything.
It's all good. It's just
was
and just
not
pointing
like
things
that,
out
yeah.
that way everyone's clear on, like, that way you can watch this back and be like, okay, what did he talk about? He talked about this, 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 and this, right? So
But you see, like I was trying to push to the left, but I felt like I need to get it. But I changed like in the middle. Like,
there we go. I don't even think you're on the far side either. Like you're like 80% the way there, but not all the way. Okay, this
I
is
didn't know
fine.
about that either.
Let's zoom in a little bit. I think your Diglets were fine. So you're setting up magnets before you can see them. That's good. That's good.
I tried to learn the new strat, but it's kind of difficult because you need to push the first one, and then you push the card, and then you push the first one, and then the other behind him, and push the card.
Quo has a strategy that I have yet to really master. I'm not a big fan of it, mainly because I don't know how to do it. But yeah, he like sets it up and he drifts to the right a little bit to get a better angle and stuff like that. And there's like so much going on that if I try to do it, I often mess it up just because I'm so used to doing it the other way. So
I just kind of go for it, but I was like, let me try. I kind of almost got it.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to point out was that your menu is going to change because of the pictures that you're doing. So the optimal menu would be from here, go down, go up, and then on the next page it's here, 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 here. So for you, it's like here, 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 or in this case here maybe. Like if you're not sure, up here, and then you're gonna go over here, and then it's like you go down. Like it's kind of disjointed. And so you're losing time on menuing here.
Yeah, but you see them like, I got confused. And the second page, I literally got confused.
Yeah. And you're good. It's confusing whenever you don't have a set pattern. One of the reasons why it's like you can do beach or whatever really fast is because you know exactly what the order is going to be. There's no extra pictures. There's never any question of which pictures do I submit. It's always down, right, up, down, right, up, or it's like always the same pattern that you're going to follow. So when you kind of do that other strategy with the electrode, or maybe you take 2 Zubats or whatever, that throws that off.
Yeah. And especially in Tunnel, because we take 3 pictures of Jiglet to get the true. So if you kind of get another picture of anything, it kind of break everything.
Yeah.
You need to
I
look
agree,
at
because
it.
there's 2 pictures of Diglett that you don't want, and 1 picture of Dugtrio that you don't want, right? So you have to figure out how do I navigate the pictures I don't want with the pictures I do want. So
Yes.
that's something I think maybe the next thing you should work on is making sure you get only the pictures and getting used to the fact, or just practicing, like, if I mess up a picture, I just have to live with it. You know what I mean? Like, don't take more than 1 picture. Just don't mess up the menu. Just stick with what you have until you get it right.
Yeah, but I did know like Zubat is not gonna work. But I went for him, so I was like, yeah, was kind of a time loss.
Yeah, like for Collins, you said you lost time. So, yeah, it's a thing is that you definitely want to make sure you're not taking like more pictures. Something I see with a lot of early runners is they take like 20 pictures. It's like, that's too much. Don't do that. just take 1 picture that you need, and maybe 2 or 3 if it's a certain Pokemon that needs that. But just try to take 1 picture, and just get good at, like, that's the picture that you're gonna go with. Don't need to take it 3 times and then pick the best one, because sometimes you can flip flop, like, I don't know if this one's better or that one's better. This one's kind of more centered. This one's a little bigger. This one's It's like you'll lose so much time to that if you're not paying attention. So take all the choice out and just do the one. Oh, screen went away for a second. Okay, so let's review what we got so far. Your beach was really solid, I think. Great points. A couple of pictures could maybe use a little bit of touch up just to make sure that they're not losing to dumb stuff. But beyond that, I think you got beat down really well. On Tunnel, you got great points already, so that means you could go for the other electrode, right? The early one, the 1500 one. So you did that, which is good, but you shouldn't be going for the other one again later on. And it's good for points, but you're losing too much time, and I think you just have to get used to the fact that you will lose those points for the time save.
I see a lot of people sacrificing points to get more speed, but I'm like trying to get points, but I'm sacrificing speed.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to kind of get it even, speed and points.
Yeah.
It's difficult. I gotta say it's difficult.
I know what you mean.
I just got no peak falling 1 time and I missed it because I threw an apple at a squirrel. I don't know. I got confused at some point.
But the idea is that that's like the safe thing, right? Like that's like a safety net that will save you if you mess up. But in order to really go fast, you have to get rid of that so that you can always go for the riskier strategy, or riskier, quote unquote, until you get to the point where it's not really risky at all. It's just part of what you do. So while doing the other strats means that you get more runs completed, at a certain point you have to cut those away just to get a better time, right? Yeah. So I definitely think you should move away from it, but obviously take it at your own pace. Do your thing. So
I'm getting things out like slowly.
I got you. So there's that one. You should be practicing Zubat a bit, because Zubat's really tough, but you want to get a good picture. What I like to do is I like to kind of like aim at the horizon and then slowly move up and like watch Zubat kind of fly over. You know what I mean? Like I kind of follow Zubat as it comes closer, and then I take a picture when it's like, like really close in front of me, like right above me. That way I don't have to, because some people will just look straight up and wait and then time it exactly when Zubat's right above you, and that's really tough. And you can lose like 200 points, but like get way higher consistency. So that's kind of a safety strat that that you could look into is like let's get 3600 Zubat every time, and instead of like missing it sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But if it,
Good.
if I get rid of Electrode, I can get like a good Zubat.
Yeah, because you'll have more time to focus on Zubat instead of having to worry
Yeah.
about like doing both at the same time, because that's kind of a tight timing. So just be careful with that. The last thing I think that you should work on is making sure that you are angling and things. Hey, Shui with the 7 months in a row. Shui, welcome. Thank you for 7 months. Thanks for being a pal. Appreciate you. What was I saying?
About the Zubat.
I was going to say, but no, but
any...
what I meant was the next thing you should work on is making sure that you're drifting in the right places. So make sure that you're all the way on the right side when you take a picture of Magikarp. Like, so the way that it works for Tunnel is that you should go into Tunnel, throw apples at Electabuzz, and that'll kind of drift you to the right already, like automatically. You kind of drift that way. And then you'll be on the far right side for that. You get Kakuna up close. That's what you want. And you'll stay over there all the way up till Magikarp. Then after Magikarp, you drift over to the left side for Diglett. And then you'll be on the far left side all the way through. In this particular run, you kind of forgot to do that until a little too late. Or not too late, but a little later than you should have.
Yeah, I kind of messed up because of Electrode. So I kind of messed up all my tracks, so I tried to fix it. But because the card moved really slowly, it kind of take time.
Yeah.
So I just tried to go with it. I like forcing it. Like,
Yeah.
go, please go.
I gotcha. Just, it's something that you need to kind of get into your muscle memory where you don't have to think about it. You're just always doing it without thinking about it. So, I don't know. Maybe have that in mind next time you're running and just kind of think about, like, am I in this position that I need to be in?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at Volcano. Because beyond that, I think your points in Tunnel were pretty good. You messed up Zubat this time, but that's because we talked about that already. And so if you didn't get Electrode and you had gotten a 4K Zubat, you would have gotten about a 54K Tunnel, which is pretty good. It's pretty solid. That is
one I got 58, I guess.
This one you got 56. That's because you lost 2,000 points on Zubat.
Yeah. And I lost points on Hunter. That's something
that too. You lost 600 points on Hunter. So, because you can't see what it is, you have to kind of know where it's facing based on like where it's moving. So, but the other thing is that, what am I trying to say? You would have lost about 2,000 points. So you would have at 54K, which isn't quite the early Moltres. So in this case, it saved your bacon, because if you had gotten it, you would have got 58K, which you wouldn't have needed the extra 3K for the Electrode. Anyways. So, my point is that your points were pretty good. I think Diglett was good, and Dugtrio was good, and your magnets were good too. So, you got most of it down. Just tighten up those little bits there. Okay, so let's go into let's go into Volcano here. So, you are going to look for... Okay, so, Levon and I both have strategies for when to throw the apple and where to throw the apple for the best Rapidash pictures. So you might look into one of our strategies.
Yeah, I saw. I think he says about the 3 dots. The 3 dots in the ground that you need. It's like a triangle. So like you need to aim here and fill the apple.
I don't know. I don't really pay attention to his idea, because he looks at the ground, which there's one of these spots on the ground. It counts.
Yeah, that looks like a triangle. Like now I can tell, but I watched it. I was like, I never saw it, and I can't see it, but. You say there's a triangle over there, so I'll find it somewhere.
Yeah, the one that I do is so I do something similar, which I used to do something different, but now I kind of adjusted it, so I'm doing almost the exact same thing that Levon does, but a little different. So for me, what I do is I don't use control stick, right? I just look straight forward, and I hold. I don't do anything. And I wait, and then as soon as I see Rapidash coming around the corner like this, like you can see its face right there, I start to look down. Right? So let's do this again in real time, right? Just waiting. Oh, look down, and I throw the apple. And here's the thing: is that if you look beneath, just below the red button, there's that little dark spot. That's just like directly beneath the button. You can't really see it. It's my monitor. No, not that. There. So this one right here. This is, I'm pretty sure that this is the one that Levon throws his apple at. Is that right there? So let's try this again. Show you in real time. Also, I'm playing on my computer monitor, which is like significantly more delay. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to do this. Okay, hang on. Okay. So I think it's the dot that's like right there. This one right here. So he's just looking down for that dot the whole time. I am using a different visual cue to know when to look down to throw. So I feel like this is kind of the same, and it's still gonna be bad. What how I would do it? Yeah, sorry. It's hard to do it without using the CRT. I used to be really good at playing on this thing here, but so those are the strategies that we use. So I suggest you learn how to use one of those in order to make it more consistent. Because while you can still get good points, kind of when you just do it however you feel like doing, you know, like if you just wing it every time, you can still get good points, but it's going to be like you can't rely on that to be good points. Like you could have done it a little earlier, a little later, and so it could mess it up.
This time I guess I did a little late because I took the picture just a little late. I lost like 200 and something.
Right.
A really good full pixel. Like so good.
That was a good full pixel. I'll give you that. You do the lemon strategy. I do something a little different, where I kind of drag it off to the side and then kind of get it kind of close and doing like the pose thing where it's on its hind legs, and
yeah.
And I do that. It's pretty consistent for me. So just whatever you're comfortable with. And then you are doing lag reduction.
Just because Rupix is more about R&D. Sometimes he's on the far left or on the far right.
Vulpix is a lot about timing, yeah. So you have to be able to control Vulpix and put it in the position that you want it to be in order to get the best picture. And you can kind of do that however you want as long as you're comfortable with it. But it's kind of freestyle. But yeah, you do have to know how to manipulate that. And the same goes with Charmander and Magmar, where sometimes the game can give you a bad position. Where the one I see the most that's bad for me is whenever actually you might have gotten it. No, you didn't. Okay, so imagine just switching the two around so that Charmander is all the way over here and then Magmar is all the way over here, and then whenever Charmander is in the corner like this, Magmar will block him. So whenever you come up to take a picture here, you can't see Charmander, right? So you have to be very careful.
What happened to me, like in this rock far from the side, Charmander evolved, but he kind of lied down on the ground.
Right.
So he got inside the rock, so I couldn't get the picture of Charmander. He got inside the rock. I was like,
I'll show you. We'll see.
No, not this time.
Not this time. One time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that happens on that side of the corner there. So here, let's look at this. So what I would have done is so something that you can do that you might not think about it is if you hit Magmar with an apple, he'll be stunned and he can't move.
Yeah.
But Charmander will see the apple and will follow it. So what you could have done was you could have hit Magmar here and bounce the apple over here, and then Charmander would be eating the apple while Magmar is like he's all like
I did it one time, I guess. Nice movement.
Yeah, thank you. So he's kind of shaking it off, and if you would hit him like right here, then Magmar would not have been able to react in time, and then Charmander would be perfect. It's just like right there. It's really close, and you'd get good points on that. Because whenever he's being hit by fire, he's like 1,000 points less. So that's 1,000 points on the table that you really got to get when he's eating the apple when he's happy. So definitely try to prioritize that over like anything else. It's just make sure Charmander is eating the apple when he's happy. because when he's being burned like that, it's a big point loss.
Yeah.
So and then for me, I've always said that Charmeleon laying down is fine. Like you can get the one where he's eating the apple, he gets up and he's eating the apple. It's a lot more time dedicated. Why does it say I'm hosting me? Oh, you're hosting me.
I don't know.
You
Yeah,
messed up.
I am.
Okay. So, yeah. So whenever Charmeleon is laying down on the ground versus when he's up and eating the apple, it's such a big time difference. They have to turn around and dedicate more time to watching him. Um, but you only gain like 100 or 200 points for him eating the apple. It's almost not worth it because you have to like unzoom and throw another apple and then like look forward and do it. Like, you have to do all this maneuvering, and Candy never host me. Oof, feels bad, man.
No, there's like a line. I think Lemon stopped streaming, so you kind of go for the next person.
Yeah, the auto host kind of thing just kind of pops up.
Yeah.
So, Charmander Magmar is like one of those things that it just takes a lot of time to get used to manipulating both of them. My friends, hello Squid, how's it going?
Hello.
Oof,
Oh, Trish.
Trish, please. So yeah, that's just something you have to get used to just doing over and over and over again. So I'd say practice that.
I was like, I was not going to throw the apple because it was kind of I gonna mess it up. So let's just go with it.
Okay. So, and then here you're gonna get early Moltres, so you have the points, so you can do that.
Actually, last time there, I slept at the moment. Sorry, because I just returned like to play again,
Mhm.
so I kind of forgot everything.
Okay. Do you know sort of where your points are and how which Moltres you should go for?
Depending, I think if I go with 53, I need a better motor. Like, sometimes I do, but sometimes I just, I just go.
Okay.
Like,
So you just kind of just go for the fastest one and hope that you get it.
no, like, when I go out of tunnel, if I get like 51, I will need a better motor.
Right.
If I get like 52, I get a less better motor. So depending of the point, I kind of can figure out.
Okay. Do you know where that is for sort of like the 2 times Moltres versus like the really early Moltres? So for
Like
me
the early,
personally,
early, early.
for the earliest one, I always go with if I have, I think 55k, then I can make it out with the early Moltres and it's fine. If I have less than 55k or if I have like 55 on the dot, um,
Mm,
then I usually go for the poseless, the when it's turned around and looking at you.
yeah.
That one I usually go for if I have 54k or less. And if I have even less than that, then I have to go for the pose Moltres, right? Because that one's like an extra 1,000 points or something like that for a couple of seconds time loss. So
Yeah, I kind of did not train it because like trying to keep the pace until I get the pistol. But I kind of know it, but no, not exactly.
yeah. So
It's
once you
easy
get
to
more
remember.
reliable with your points, like whenever every time, like if you get the same kind of points every picture, every run, then you can kind of gauge it out better. But for me, that 55k is the line. So like if you had gotten a little less points, like if you had not gotten Electrode, the second one, you would have had like 54k going into Volcano. And that
Hmm.
in that case, you should not go for early Moltres, right? So in this case, using the electrode strat that you did in tunnel was what saved you to get early pesters this run, right?
Yeah.
That's the safety
Hmm.
net thing that we were talking about. So it's good. It's good for that, and in this case, it helped you out. But it's something you shouldn't rely on because you did lose some time in there.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's look at your points here. Good Vulpix, by the way. J-Mans, hi. Thanks for the host.
I love the Pipix. It's the only thing that's both in this run. I, seriously, this was the one that it kind of messed everything.
It's all
It
right.
was
You get some of those runs where you just nothing really clicks. So you got, can I see how many? 47. There we go. That's pretty good. So the Levon strategy is like consistently right about 5k. So just maximizing those points, just a little extra. About to knock out. Have a good one. Hey, J-Mans, thanks for stopping in. It's a little late. It's 2 a.m. I can see why you'd be going to bed. But thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, Jimin.
Okay, actually, I skipped over full picks. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, full picks was that's a really solid. That's a really good full picks. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, it wouldn't show me. Sometimes when the way that the capture works, like you you don't get the frame when it shows up. So for this you got that's 1150, which would be 2300, right? So you could easily get 3,000 ish points, like 3,200, if he's eating the apple and jumping around, right? And so because he was not eating, you lost like 800 points.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot.
So it's a big point difference. So in this case, you messed up the Charmander, and that's why you lost points. So I always try to prioritize getting the right picture, even if it means like it's kind of far away, or it's like a little too early or too late. It's like you just got to get that picture because it's just enough to really make the difference. Okay, so you got enough points for Pesters here, so that's good. Gonna take that. Just messed that up. Happens to me sometimes.
Like I say, my analogy, it kind of, you need to push it really harder. But if you push it too harder, it kind of go forward again and then move down and up, down and up.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Oh, repeated text there twice. There we go. Beautiful.
Like I said, this wrong. I don't know how I got a PB. I messed everything up.
Is this your first run on Japanese?
Yeah, it was my first run.
You saved 20 seconds by switching to Japanese.
Yeah.
So even with repeating the Pester Balls text like that, you probably still saved. Actually, you probably still made it out just even with USA. So with the USA time, that Pester Balls chat box takes forever. It's like.
Could have killed my run like 7 or 8 seconds.
Yeah, it's so long on English. Like it just takes forever.
It goes like
every single letter is like it's like, come on, please let me go a little faster. On Japanese, it's like all the text is already there every time. Like it's instant. And so you save, I think, 4 or 5 seconds on that text box alone by switching to Japanese.
Yep.
So it's a big deal. So even if you repeated it like twice, you probably came out like even. You probably were even on it, so it's not that big a deal. That is a time save. That's a free time save for next time, so don't think about it. Okay. Oh, hit Bulbasaur. Oh, twice.
Actually, that one was good. And they messed like the red dot.
Yeah, that's fine. You got a good picture though. You got 2. Why'd you go for 2?
Because I missed the red dot. I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna get the 5k Bulbasaur. So I was like.
Okay, so I'm gonna teach you something about Slowpoke. Do you know about Squid Slowpoke strat?
No, that one I don't.
Okay, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to move my TV, that way I can actually do this like with a real strat. Hang on. Okay, I'm actually going to play on my TV instead. That way I can actually see and play this game. Okay. I should turn the volume down. It's really loud. There we go. Okay. So we switched over. Oh, hang on. I should take this off. There we go. That was more natural. So here, I'm going to show you. So you're in river, doing some lag reduction, right? And then I like to kind of throw pesters at the other one. Right, boom. I almost hit it. Dang. There we go. And then we hit. So I throw a pester at the log to make it spawn. Like that. So you take your picture of Bulbasaur. So And you always take one. Only one picture of Bulbasaur, not two. And then, so since you're already on the far left side of the track, like you've already drifted over that way, the next thing you do is you use C up to look forward again, right? Just to put yourself back on the fast track. And then you look up. And so you'll see, you see the corner that's right above the P and pause, right? You see that corner of the tree? So, real quick, do you know the difference between the lookup height that's normal versus like the extended lookup?
Yeah,
You know,
like
you know the difference?
you push it all the way up, and then you unlock, and then push just the little dot up, and then
Yeah.
it will look like
You know what I'm talking about. Okay.
90 degree.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's almost like straight up. Like it's a bit of a difference here between regular lookup and then the extended lookup.
Yeah.
So you don't want to do the extended lookup. You want to do the regular lookup, right? And then you want to
Yeah.
look up as far as you can, and you want to be looking forward. And then whenever this corner goes off screen, whenever it's just gone off screen, you don't have to worry about anything else. Just whenever it leaves. As soon as it leaves, start throwing apples and throw 7 of them in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that will move Slowpoke to the end as fast as possible. That's like the fastest possible time to move Slowpoke from where he starts to where he's done, or to where he's like eating or he's going fishing, right? So if you do that, it's super easy. You don't have to look at it, and he will always go as fast as possible, right? So he's already going to start eating. He's going to start fishing now, right? So that in itself is really easy. You don't have to worry about like looking around or doing anything like that. You can kind of do lag reduction, and you can get him to the end point as fast as possible every time. So it's a really consistent and really easy setup, which is really awesome. The other strat that Levon does, that I do too, which is a bit more of an advanced strat. You don't have to do this part, but there's a way to get an even better slow poke. Let's go and do this again. So whenever the second,
kind of different.
so the second Slowpoke has a different strat. Let's get that guy. Gonna look up. Gonna look all the way up as far as I can. Right? And then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not even gonna look down. I'm gonna keep looking where I am now. So I know that Slowpoke is going and he's gonna go fishing. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
When we hear shelter.
Yeah, you hear the shoulder, right? So you know the thing I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I saw Cole doing that because he does it every time. So I kind of figured out that he was aiming for like hearing shelter, and then he looks down and then
Yeah.
push a little to the left, and then
Yeah,
he gets the
so
picture.
so the way that I do it is I wait for the 3 shelter, so it's shelter, 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 and then I look a little bit to the right, throw an apple, right? So
Yeah, first number to move.
2, 3, look a little bit to the right, and then I look over here, and just in time to get that guy, and so you get the shelter that's like perfect. It's like right here. It's not off to the side or anything like that. It's right here in the middle. It's really easy to get. You have enough time to throw an apple for the Slowpoke to eat, or the Slowbro to eat, and then he's right there eating the apple for like perfect points. So you can get perfect points on Shelter and Slowbro like super easy. Like the setup is perfect.
Second Slowpoke.
Yeah, and so the second one, I threw that apple right before I threw the apple for the Slowbro here. So this Slowpoke is going to go fishing now. Like he's already ready to go fishing. So instead of waiting to throw the apple now, he's already there. So what's going to happen is that he's going to come here. Normally we would take it when he's fishing like this, which is still pretty good. But you get more points when he does this. When he flips his tail up, when he catches something, when he flips it out of the water, that's worth even more points. So
That's the one that I'm aiming for.
yeah. So that one is even better, and you're really close to him by doing that setup. So that's our strategy for Slowpoke. So you don't have to do that second part with the slow poke, because that one's a little bit more complicated. But it is pretty easy. And if you mess it up, you can still just do the regular one where after you get Slowbro to the left, then you throw the apple, and then he goes fishing. That one is not a big deal. It's still like the same thing as you normally would do. So you can go for that if you want, but I'd say try to learn that strat because that's really cool. It's also it's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's really. I think you get. I don't know. You get 4K or more. I think you get more.
Yep.
Or no.
Okay, so let's go back to yours. Let me mute my audio here. So you're fine. I think no, you were in the middle of the row. I don't know if you noticed that. So you had drifted into the middle of the river. So you need to be careful with where you're aiming. Because when you unzoom, you drift over to the side really fast.
That's why I unzoomed, because it was too far away. I was going to lose points on shelter.
Mm-hmm. Also, the other thing is that because you're looking here, you're actually not facing forward, which means that you're not moving at the fastest speed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing where you kind of have to worry about where you're looking and having the muscle memory of just automatically being on the far side all the time and knowing where to look and when to unzoom and stuff. So that's another thing that you should be looking out for. But if you use the strat that I told you, you don't have to worry about any of that. It's like all set up. You don't have to worry about looking around.
The other Lobo, I never get him.
It's all good.
It just kind of okay. Let's go with it.
Yeah, like this that picture right there when he's like sideways, right about to go fishing. That's a totally fine picture.
Like I can get a 4K if you get it right, but I kind of got it wrong. And like I messed everything was wrong. I'm like, how did I go to PB? I will never know.
Is that free PB or switching to Japanese?
Yeah, it's like kind of a.
Okay. While this is going on, I'm actually gonna find out how many points my slowpoke is. Oh, nice. Okay, found that out. Okay, so hang on. Your Metapod seemed fine. Let me zoom back a little bit.
My Metapod, I missed the. I took too many time trying to hit him, so I kind of moved it to the right.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I can take too much time like trying to aim him.
Yeah,
I know that, but sometimes I kind of get lost. So.
The second one is actually not that much points. So if you miss more than 2 throws, I just abandon it. Just don't worry about it. Just get the only one by itself. It's not that big of a difference. Oh, did you get the Psyduck? Ooh.
I got.
You did?
It's funny. It's because the apple got in front of my camera, so it says like it bouncing back, but I got it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I actually use I use the pester ball specifically because the apple can get in your way and cause you to not do it. So
But that part going just like, oh my god, what I did.
All right, let's look at your points here.
As you can see, the Japanese version is so fast that I kind of can mess up everything and still can get moving. If I had messed up like in the USA version, I had already lost that race for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's see what your points are. Oh, look at all those Bulbasaurs. Okay, good Shelter. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh, look at that cute face. Oh, this still counted. Okay, good. You lost points, I'm sure, though. Okay, let's see here. Bulbasaur is pretty good. That's that's 5,000, so that's good.
5,200, yeah.
No, okay, that's perfect points on Shelter. Almost perfect points. That was pretty good. It's because you lost a little bit of the shell on the side there, but you almost had that as a perfect score.
I was like, whoa! Just because of the shell, like, okay, no problem.
So on this one, you got 3920. So that is your score. I got 4160 when I just did the test a minute ago. So I got an extra 200 points. All right, so not that big of a deal. I lose about 80 points on size, but I get 200 extra points for pose. So I gained 400 for pose, but I lost a little bit for the size. So by doing the earlier strat like that I was showing you with the Shelters, you can gain like an extra, is that 300 or 200 points? So that's a pretty good deal. It's not even that hard too. So your side deck was actually better than I thought it'd be. So you got more points than that. Also, your shelter didn't count for much, which is really weird.
Which?
Like it's only it's not even 2 times. So you only got like 800 or 600 points for that. Just kind of strange.
Yeah, if I get like the butt cloister, I lose too much points.
Yeah, because it's like directly behind him, so it's like a bad pose.
But it was like the less. Yeah, it was because cloister I thought he was not going to show.
I feel like I normally get more points than that, even if I get the butt, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Okay. So for oh no, I just lost the time. Where is it? It's here. Let's go here. Okay. I want to pause. So for River, your points were pretty good. You messed up a little bit on Psyduck there, and you messed up a little bit on Cloister. I think even Psyduck. Porygon. Even Porygon was a little kind of not that great. But overall, I think you have a pretty good concept of the points on that stage, so you're fine. There are some setups like the Slowpoke one that you can do for a little bit easier and more consistent setup. But yeah, I just say try to keep practicing every level and get good at just doing everything the same every time, and then you can kind of just autopilot for the whole run, which is really useful.
Yeah, I need to fix my river because the problem is like not like the points, like the track. I keep missing the track every time. No, cave, I think I'm no, I'm not.
Cave's not good.
No, it's not the whole cave. It's just the final part.
Okay. So with this Ditto, you got to be careful of lag. So in this early part, whenever you're like looking down like here, when you're just throwing apples for like 10 seconds, that's super laggy. So you can save yourself like a whole second or so by just throwing 1 or 2 apples and then looking back up again. So
Yeah,
try
but
to learn
the
to throw
apples
less apples there.
Yeah, but the apples disappear. So for me, like it's like just for safety, since it messed everything up. So like throw apples.
I got you.
And
I definitely do that sometimes, but it's just a bad habit. You should learn to not do that. But again, obviously, it's like sometimes you have to. If you mess it up, you just got to keep throwing apples again. But that's a place where you can save time, is by throwing less apples. I think Levon throws like 2 apples, so he kind of throws 1 in one area to kind of draw out like the far back. Like if it's like back up here, you can kind of draw him closer to the middle, and then 1 more to draw him right to the right spot, and then he throws a pester that he knows it's going to be like right here, so he just throws a pester at it. So just with like 1 or 2 or even 3 apple throws, you can get it just right, throw a pester, and then get it set up, and then you have all the time in the world to get the good picture. Okay, 1. Oh, so you're throwing the apples or the pesters at Grimer a little too soon.
Yeah, I lose the angle, but it's the first time like I missed it. I was like, oop.
Okay.
Like, why did I know this? Is because in the USA version, if you throw a Grimer, he kind of froze. This one moved too fast. Like I throw the Pokeball and he reacts to it instantly. In the
Okay.
USA version, it takes some time. Like I don't know.
I haven't
It's
even
just
thought.
that
I
if you
haven't thought about it,
see,
so maybe there is. I haven't even looked. I'll investigate
like,
at some point, but
if you see Grimer froze. Like you can't throw the Pokeball too fast. He froze, so you need like to kind of time it. So I did it.
okay.
He got a instant react. I was like, no, something's wrong. Instant react. Oh my god, no. So I messed everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a timing thing. Yeah. So if it's different on this version, you just have to practice that one, and you'll get used to it. Try to time it a little less. Like a lot of people when they first start running, they just like mash B and they try and throw as fast as possible. But it's really better to like throw it, wait, throw it, wait, throw it. Like just like get in the habit of like just draw it out just a little bit. So.
But I'll see if I can explain that to you. It was something new for me.
Yeah. I get that. So it's just something in the future. Learn the timing on this one. That way you don't have to worry about that. Because because it didn't evolve like this, like you lost like all that time and those points, you know. So you want to make sure that that you learn the
But
new
I couldn't
timing.
miss it. I
Yeah.
couldn't miss it. So I was like, I'm gonna aim for you, boy. You're
It's
gonna
all
come
good.
with me.
Okay. So you're gonna lose points on that. But that's fine. We'll move on from that. Oops, sorry.
This last part, I'm not gonna even look. Not gonna look.
It's that bad, huh?
Yeah, always. I can't. I don't know. I have something.
Okay. Jigglypuff and coughing is pretty good. Oh. There's Weeping Bell. Bye
I
bye,
can't.
Weeping Bell. Bye bye, time save.
I can't.
Bye bye. Bye bye, time.
I like. I don't know if you reading my voice. I'm really mad. Kind of. Jesus. I can't. Sometimes I get it, but at most I don't.
I can hear your voice in the
I
recording.
don't want to go to Weeping Bell.
It's so bad. I'm super mad. Like super.
You're like, get
Because-
in, get in.
Yes. I always answer. It's impressive. Like how I can learn it. This is so easy. Everyone does it. I don't know.
It takes time. It takes a lot of practice.
How do I hate this guy?
Oh, I hate this
Get
guy.
in.
Get in.
Get in! Just get in!
Because I lose like 10 seconds just doing that.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely
In
about
the
10
Yoshi
seconds. That
version,
was.
I lose 10 seconds. I don't know how. It's just save time. Actually, I saved 2 seconds. Don't know how.
It's crazy.
I don't know how. This thing is crazy. This PP is like.
It's really weird. If you watch them back both side by side, 4,000, nice. Okay, good grammar. Muck was not so great. Great Jigglypuff. Great coughing. Hang on. Ah. My nose is running. Hang on. I gotta go catch it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Did you get my joke? My nose is running. I have to go run and catch it.
No, I didn't. Man. I got it.
That's a classic joke.
One pick volley.
You almost had it. You had 127, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 127, 500.
There's one round that I did that I got 110.9. I was like, I can't believe it. Okay.
Hey, McFly, your fridge is running. You better go catch it.
You're preaching.
Okay, so you got the sign, and then what picture are you gonna take? Let's see, is it Sandshrew?
Joe Dude and Sandslash. Oh, Sandshrew.
Okay. So something that I don't know if Colin is gonna watch this VOD back. He probably will. Or I'll post a time for it. In Valley, you should really know the point values for each picture, right? Oh, Colin's still here. Or yeah, you've been lurking. So you should really know the point values for every single Pokemon in Valley. Squirtle is 3K. Geodude is 2.5. Sandshrew is 3.6. Sandslash is 4.6. No, 4.8. I'm sorry. Graveler? I actually forget what Graveler is. Graveler is like 38. 3.8. Mankey is like 2.4. Gyarados is 4.6. Dragonite is 4.4. Or maybe they're reversed. I forget exactly. I think that's right. Stuff like that. Like, you got to know those exact point values. That way you know, okay, I'm going into Valley, and I need 3,000 points. So don't go for Geodude, because he's 2,500. You could just get Sandshrew, and you would have been fine. So, like, I think even if you had just gone with Geodude, you would have had enough points. And every single every single picture that you submit is 4 seconds of time loss. Okay?
It's because I calculated wrong.
I think so.
I thought I needed more than 3K, but actually I needed like 2K and 600.
Yeah.
So I could
yeah.
just hang out Sandshrew.
Yeah. You needed 2,000 6,510 points technically. But if you had gotten Sandshrew, you would have gotten more than 3,000 points, which would have covered anything for 127k.
Yeah.
So
I kind of calculated wrong. Yeah.
it happens. It happens from time to time. But it's something you got to really think about is that, especially early on, getting the 1-pick valley or the 0-pick valley, sorry, is really, really hard to do. It's something that even top runners don't do consistently, mainly because we have to get the Weeping Bell snipe, and that like loses us like 3,000 points. So getting the 0-pick valley is pretty tough. So you always have to take 1 picture in valley, and so you always have to know how many points do I need to get just 1 picture and move on. And so that's something that you should focus on: is know the points, know how to get those points, and then do the calculations to do I need 1 picture? Do I need 2 pictures? Or do I need like 3? Like if you go into Valley with like 121k, you're going to need 3 pictures. Because even if you get Dragonite and Sandslash, that is, I guess technically it's 9.1. But it's really tight. So I would go for like Sandshrew, Geodude, and Sandslash. That'd be like 5k plus like 3.5. Plus 2.5, that's 6 plus 4, but yeah, that's about 10k or 11k. So
I don't go for Squirtle because it moves the card so much, and sometimes you get stuck in the border. So you lose some seconds. I figured it out once. I was like, no, so let's not go for Squirtle. It's too risky.
I gotcha. Yeah, Squirrel can be risky. So especially if you go for the one at the end, a lot of people do that sometimes. The one at the very end, where the Mankey is. If you take a picture, hang on, I'll pause it right here. So try it again. That one. So if you look at him now, when he has his head out like this, you can take a picture of him from right here, and it's like 2,500 points. It's really hard to do, and sometimes you will mess it up. I feel like every once in a while it just doesn't work. So it's a little inconsistent. And that's one of the things where it's like, if you're on a really good PB pace and you rely on this picture right here to be the one to get you that 2,000 points, you can lose the run. When I would always just go for Sandshrew. Like, Sandshrew is always going to be that 3,500 points. It's so easy to get that Sandshrew. And it drifts you to the right, and it's like you save all. It's really not a time loss. Whereas this, if you mess this up, it's a time loss. So I don't suggest going for this one. But you can if you really want to. But I suggest don't do that. But you can. That's like the pro level strat. Is like some people will go for this Squirtle right here, and because they're already here, they're already looking at it. So.
But like if you lock to take the picture and you take too much time, you can throw like an apple or a pasteball. It kind of has a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay on that.
Super risky.
So again, I suggest don't go for that. But that is an option.
Monkey Snipe.
You have to make a snipe. That's good. That's good. I did see that. And then let's see how many points you got. I think even with that Geodude, you should have been able to get the points.
I think Geodude got 2k and 500 again.
You got 2,580.
Yes.
So you would have had enough to get, because you just needed 2,510. So you were right there. That was just enough points. If you had just gotten Geodude, you would have been fine.
Oh yeah.
Sandshrew was that 3.48, which is I would just say 3,500. So you got that covered. Oh, PB report.
Yes, it was like it was too fast. I couldn't handle the.
Yeah, it's a little. Oh, and it went back in the valley. Oof.
This run was a disaster. If I played everything right, I could have saved like 20 seconds, I guess.
Oh, yeah, you actually save the
kidding.
most time on signs, because you go back and forth. I think I talked about it before, but you actually lose 1 second on English every single time you go back to the lab, because Professor Oak has to say, "Welcome back." And then in the Japanese version, it doesn't say that. He says something else, but that's not like the icon. That's not iconic. So they're just like, you can mash the text while he's talking. But for the English version, you cannot mash that text until he's done saying "Welcome back," and then you can start moving. So you lose that 1 second every single time you go back to the lab. And you do that the most in signs because you go back 6 times in like 3 minutes. So you lose like 6 or 7 seconds there. So that's actually the biggest time difference in Japanese is that right there.
I got surprised.
But
In
yeah,
Japanese,
go ahead.
the menu is smooth. The card looks like it's a little easier to move around, and some Pokemons have like the movements are better to take pictures of. I don't know. I felt it's super different. Besides everything, like this runs a totally disaster, But I still save time in every single stage,
Right.
except for River. I forgot River. My River's ass.
You lost a little bit of time in River, but not that much. We only lost like
Yeah.
0.4 seconds, which is nothing. You lost more time in Valley than you did anywhere else.
Yeah.
Lost 1.4 seconds there. That might even be from going into the
Actually,
PB into the PB report.
seconds is it? Yeah, you got in the PvP. I did everything right, seriously. But what's saving me is because it's a Japanese version. If it was like in the USA, I might have got like 23, 30,
Maybe.
I guess. Not even kidding. Because I have I think the same exact race, the same exact run in English, and I got a 23, 30.
Sounds about right. Okay, everything looks so good so far. Okay. Do
It
you
was
okay?
so fast. It was like I was awaiting turn. I was like, what? I got so confused.
So there's a couple of setups for the volcano sign there. Hang on, I'll show you. Let's look at this. So if you, oh, you actually did it right there. So you see how the sky goes from like darker to lighter, like right here. There's like that kind of corner shape. If you aim there, like right here, and throw pesters, like 2 or 3 of them, and kind of look upwards as you start throwing them, you'll hit the volcano. So you aimed in the right spot. You kind of went back and forth a little bit, but I always found it pretty consistent to shoot like right there, and then a little higher, a little higher, a little higher, until you got there. So, but the thing that's even faster is that like Quo and I do a different one where we hold the boost at the very start, and then you hold like down and left, and you move the cursor like up like this, move it up to the left like that, and then if you hit B at just the right time, you throw a pester into the lava like from the very beginning, because whenever you boost, you actually increase the speed of the projectile, so your pester goes even further. So by doing that just right, you can throw it right into the lava, and you save like half a second or so. So it's a little bit of time save, which is pretty cool. But it's really easy on the GameCube controller because this is the one place where the notch is perfect. If you put it, in the notch in the corner there, like that notch side, it's perfect for GameCube controllers. But on the N64 controller, it's not. Hi, Shuli. How's it going?
But as you can see, my joystick like kind of tickles because it's rusty. It's rusty, so it kind of tickles sometimes. So it gets like.
Yep.
I don't know.
So you should look into fixing that, and then look into see if you can learn to get that set up right, because it's pretty cool. It's really fast too, and if you miss it, you really tell if you miss it like early on. You can reset it, and it's like the same thing. So there's that. That's fine. Let's look at your tunnel strat. You have a really fast tunnel skip, which I think is really cool. I think.
This one, I trained so much. I trained so much. I was like, if I miss it again, in my last race, I missed it just because I said it. Actually, Levon
I hear you
taught
say,
me
"I
that.
trained for this."
I trained for this. I can't miss it.
There you go.
I trained so much. I can't see tunnel. I like, oh, I got tunnel. It kind of hurts me.
Yeah. What I think is funny about this is like this is the one place in the run where everybody has their own strategy and they all work just about the same. So it's like the place where you can sort of shine like your own little personality, you know. Um,
Mhm.
so I have one where I teach everybody where it's like you go forward, you look right, you drift to the right, and then you look forward again, you go forward. Um,
Okay, I didn't got the first one, but important.
and it's like you just gotta boost all the way, and then like let go, boost, and then boost again, and it's just super easy.
Mhm.
And I try to do it that's based on stuff that's like not arbitrary. Like sometimes it's like, oh, you just kind of you look here, then you look there, and you look there. It's like, but how long do I look there, and when do I start looking the other way? And what if I go too far? What if I don't go far enough? You know, stuff like that. I don't like that, so I just use like the C stick angle, like the C, like C right, C forward, like C
Mhm.
right, C forward. That's it. Like you don't hit anything else. You do it at this exact time, based on this exact position, based on this exact thing. So it's really precise.
But
But
actually, in tunnel, I don't even move that much. You don't see me moving. It's just C buttons.
yeah,
You just see buttons all the time. So it's kind of mechanical. But if I miss just one button, everything's over.
yep.
Just forget it.
You gotta be real careful.
Everything's over.
That's
Yeah.
that's the dangerous thing. So you gotta be careful about that.
Stuck in beach here.
I, and I kind of like my tunnel, but I get scared every time. I think my last run I got stuck in tunnel and I got stuck in PG and still got a PB. But I was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. How did I miss tunnel? I got so mad. I think in the right end I keep saying that. I was like, okay, let's try again. Okay. That bitch, I don't know, bitch is I'm a little confused, but I guess it's okay.
Mew Mew.
I like how they call it Mew Mew. Oh, it's Mew Mew.
Mew Mew, yeah.
Mew Mew.
But look at this. It just this. My PB is just signs. The rest, forget the rest.
Yeah,
Just signs.
like I'm telling you, you save so much time on the Japanese version just for the signs.
And because you can see the scribble of everything, I could have saved 20 seconds
Yep.
without my mistakes. Like
So
20
the other
full
thing
seconds.
that's crazy about signs is that, so I don't know if you know this, but on English, whenever the points come up for the Pokemon, it's faster every time. Like you can mash through all the text and get it off the screen, like all your scores. So whenever you do a
Mhm.
stage like Tunnel or something where you submit like 10 pictures, on those stages you go super fast on English. It's a little slower on Japanese. But it's kind of weird because the very first bit and the very last bit are actually faster on Japanese. It's the pictures in the middle that are slow. So on like signs, because you only submit the sign picture and nothing else, you actually save time every single time you go do the pictures as well. So on top of like saving 7 or 8 seconds on Professor Oak alone, you're also saving like a second every time you do submit a picture. So it ends up being like 15 to 20 seconds every time on signs, which is why you saved 14 seconds or 13.7 seconds of your English PB, is because you saved all that time in the menu, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's
And
where a
there's
majority of
another
this
thing,
time
like,
save comes from.
after you finish Mew Mew, there's kind of a text that goes really slowly in the UHA version.
Mhm.
It goes slow. I don't know what it is, but you keep pressing and it won't go away. So after I finished Mew Mew, it was so fast. I was like, what? Seriously, everything was so fast and so confusing. I don't know. It was my first time in the Japanese version.
Yep. I think if you play a few more times on it, you'll get more used to it, and you'll easily get another PB of like 22:10. Like I can see you getting a 22:10 in like a week or so if you finish all your exams and things.
Yeah.
So like once you finish with
Like
that, is holiday time, then you can train a little more. You'll
I haven't trained for I guess for 2 weeks, 1 week. No, I guess I haven't trained like for 1 week, and I just like let me get the Japanese version and see if I can get a PB. That was quite the thing I did. So I forgot everything. I was rusty. It was kind of
it's all good. I have faith. So, let's see here. Let's review a little bit. So things I think you should get better at. So your beach is really good, right? So
Yeah.
beach is fine. Keep doing what you're doing.
Mhm.
Tunnel. You need to get rid of the electrode strat. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, a lot of things will kind of fall together, and that'll make more sense. So that's fine. Volcano, you need to work on your Charmander and Charmeleon, right? So work on that. That's probably gonna be your biggest thing, is being good at manipulating them to just the right spots. I'm gonna show you what I do sometimes. Before I forget, while we're at this on topic here, for River, you should probably learn the strat for the squid strat for throwing the apples at the Slowpoke. You should probably do that, and you should probably get better at not drifting to the side, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Everything else was pretty good though. The very end was a little different, but I think you kind of scrambled and you weren't sure. So I can see why you might have messed that up. Hang on.
I lost some seconds throwing an apple at Program.
Yep.
You can't throw apples at Program.
Yeah, you did.
That seconds like cost me everything.
Yep. In Cave, Grimer was a big deal. Not a big deal, but a little thing. You need to work on Grimer.
But I'm gonna show ya. It's different. Like
Yeah.
Grimer froze every time, but this one was a instant reaction.
Right.
I got confused.
And you'll learn that in time, so you'll get good at that. And practice Weeping Bell.
Yeah, that one I was pretty sure
Yeah.
gonna say it.
I always hate Weeping Bell, but yeah, that's one you need to fix. And then know the points in Valley. I think
The
that's going to
points,
be like know how many points you need and know which Pokemon to get, so you only get like 1 or 2 pictures that you are absolutely necessary. Don't get any more. So if you do all those things in all those stages, you will easily get a 21 time.
I just want 21.5. You'll be fine.
You can get it. You can get Grill World Record, I believe.
That one.
You can beat Full Air. I know you can. You're better than Full Air. You're really good at points. You can definitely beat Full Air. So I have faith.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
My
because
pleasure.
I really like the game. You can see them always talking, like always laughing. Besides I lost with them, I was like, get in, but okay, let's get back.
All right, I'm gonna show you what I do for Charmander and Magmar and stuff. Over there. Okay, I don't want to get too close here, so let's do this. So here they're going into a back position because Charmander is getting to the left side of Magmar. So here, you can throw apples into the lava, like this, and you'll get Charmander's attention, but not Magmar's, right? So that's the strategy you should do, is that you can throw the apples in the lava and it brings them to the edge. And so that's that you want them close to you, right? They won't move anymore, so they can't ever, like, you know, get to the apple, so they won't go any further than that. So it's a good way to kind of hold them close until you get closer. So if you see that they're in a really good spot, but they're just really far away, throw apples into the lava, and then they'll stay there. They can't move. They'll be attracted every time. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay. So I move like here, I could start throwing apples like this, right? So like you see how they kind of did that. Now I got to be careful because if they're really close like they are now, then there's gonna be a problem. So like I hit Magmar, and I'm trying to position Charmander to be somewhere different there.
Wait.
So in this one, this is not perfect. It's actually really bad, but I was able to pull Charmander around Magmar and get a good picture of him eating the apple, and I was able to get Magmar fighting, or Magmar blowing. Thank you, Shuli. I try. So,
Actually,
go ahead.
better, yeah.
So here, not amazing, but we got about 3,000 points on Charmander. And here we got 32 on Magmar. So again, not great, but we made the best out of the situation that we had. And that's kind of the deal with Magmar and Charmander, is that sometimes the game will give you a really bad setup. Like it just doesn't work out. But you have to be able to make the most of it, because I could still probably continue a run with that if I went into tunnel, or if I went into volcano with like 56k. That probably wouldn't be an issue. Like I wouldn't have to reset because of that. I could continue going. So that'll save a lot of your runs, because every once in a while you'll just get a bad one, and then it's like, oh well, now I have to reset because the game doesn't like me. Right here. Right, so they're really far apart here in this situation. So it's... Oh, see, I messed up. So,
Actually, you had got it, but
I messed it up.
Mega got a delay for some kind of reason.
Yeah, he got away from the lava, and he ran to the one that Charmander was eating. And I think it's because I throw too many apples. That's another thing that people don't realize, is that don't throw too many apples, because that just like makes the AI like freak out. Like it doesn't do what you want it to do, because there's too many things going on, and there's too many variables. So I'm gonna throw it on the lava, and that's gonna bring Charmander in. And so now they're both right here. I can throw like apples between them, and now it's perfect. Like look at that. And you notice that Magmar was like way off on the side, and Charmander was way off on that side. By throwing apples in the lava, I kind of stall them until I get just close enough, and then I throw one in the middle, and they both go to it. So this is going to be significantly better points.
So I need to, like, if I throw the apple, I need to focus on Charmander.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that above all else, you want to make sure that you're getting Charmander when he's eating the apple. Because if you do it when he's getting burned, it's bad. Even if he's kind of far away, if he's not, even if he's like not where you want him to be, try to get him when he's eating the apple. It's just better that way. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Nova.
I read that too.
Nova.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's all over.
Dude. Nice. Can I tell you I've never been to a titty bar?
Super.
I've never been to a strip club. I don't know if that's I guess it's a good thing? Maybe a bad thing? I don't know.
I was going to say something, but it's better not. Okay.
Candy's like, I work at a titty bar. Oh, okay.
No. I didn't. No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Do you have any questions about what we talked about today?
Just weeping bear that I can aim. I can't. I just can't. I don't know why. I can't.
Weeping Bell's tough.
A block.
You have to know. You have to be able to shoot where it's gonna be, not where it is. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn like how long does it take for the apple to travel. You know.
Yeah, it's because his hitbox is strange. Like
Canada
sometimes you don't hit him, but he kind of move away.
Yeah. Canada doesn't have dollar bills. They have dollar coins. So there's no tipping the stripper really at the bar. Interesting. They're more. Oh, interesting. It's interesting how like the fact that they don't have single dollar currency as like paper, instead of they have it as a coin. It's like, oh, that changes the whole dynamic of like I can't just give you a dollar bill and like put it in your clothes. You know, like that's what they do with dollar bills in America, right? Is they put it in the clothes and like, oh yeah, and the girls are like, oh, thank you so much, you know. But now it's like, okay, well, you know, since you can't give me a dollar bill, how about you give me more money for something more over there? You know, it's like, oh, okay. It's an interesting dynamic. Like that comes about because the dollar bill is different. You know?
Yeah, it's coins, yeah. Because in Canada, it's coins, like $2 coins.
Yeah, they have $1 and $2 coins. Put a $5. There you go. Ooh, naughty. Okay, so it's like I know that he's gonna be there. So I'm pretty sure. I don't want to put money on the table, but I'm pretty sure that's gonna hit him. So it's like I know that he's moving, and I know that that apple's gonna hit him. Yeah, there we go. So
Let's see.
I had to know that when he was here, you know, when he was over on this side, I knew I had to throw an apple here in order to hit him, just because they will remove the bill, not using their hands. Oh boy. Interesting. Sounds like fun, Nova. So it's just one of the things where you have to know the apple takes, you know, the apple moves at a certain speed, so you know that you have to throw it at a certain spot for it to get to the right spot. So it's just something that you have to practice. You know. So I mean, I've been running this game for 4 years now.
4 years.
4 years I've been playing this damn game. You know?
I think I have like, I don't know. I think I'll
mean,
do 3 months.
I mean, like speed running the game, not just like playing the game. I mean, like really, like devoting myself to the game. I've been doing it for about 3.5, 4 months now. So it's like something that I've just picked up by doing it so much. But you can get the same. You can get there too if you play a lot. You know.
I'm gonna get that weeping bell.
You're gonna get it. I believe in you. You're gonna get that weeping bell.
I think I won't got him one time. Just to be fair, I don't know.
Touching is encouraged. Oh wow.
Oh Jesus, Nova is in another world.
Nova's coming down from a high. He was in Valhalla. Now he's back on Earth. He doesn't know what to do with himself. Okay. Well, I think that's gonna wrap up our little review session here. Candy, I hope you you learned something. And if you want, I'm gonna highlight this video, and you can watch it back later on if you want to. Come on, bro. Oh, Brendan, why do you show up at the very end here? I would